So, Michael, do you expect NBC Universal to make a profit on the Olympics?
I do not. You have to realize the Olympics, for at least for 2012, is a short-term play. The long-term play is through 2020, setting it all up. I think Roberts, Comcast, NBC Universal did this and secured the Olympic rights through 2020 because they feel with the advent of mobile advertising and a broadband platform, they're going to be able to utilize 2012 and springboard it to the other Olympics. So the Olympics cost Comcast, I think $1.18 billion. You're going to add $200 million in production costs. Their advertising revenue is going to be anywhere between $950 million to $1.1 billion. So they're going to lose some money on this. They're going to lose up to $200 million, maybe more. So first year, I don't think they're going to make money, but the hope is with mobile advertising and then obviously the cross pollination or the cross segmentation of their other channels and broadband, their view is they're going to make money in the long run.
I watch a lot of the Summer Olympics. I'm a big fan. And I like the fact that they're going to be having all these events live. Do you view that as a plus or a minus?
I view that as a huge plus because the live programming, there's nothing better than live programming. It's my view and a lot of people's view that sports is the ultimate reality television and everyone wants to see the live broadcast. You know, years ago we weren't able to see live broadcast and the only thing we had was tape delay. Well, in this era of instantaneous communication, you know, people are going to get the results very, very quickly and it's yet to be seen, will people see a game that they know the results of already? So promoting live to me is a huge, huge positive.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point about knowing the results already because you know this as well as anyone. In fact, what's been happening to rights fees for professional sports. We've seen them for baseball go up a huge amount. It was behind the whole Dodgers sale. We've seen them go up for college football, the NFL. So that's really been a game changer, if you will, the value of the programming. And people are paying for that because you're not going to TiVo an event and then you don't really want to find out 2-3 hours after the fact what happened.
That's exactly right. I think programming has really come such a long way, and I think that a lot of executives feel that their television product is so good, they're trying to make their in-arena product as good as the television product, because when you're watching your incredible HD television on a 40-inch screen or more, it is a great viewing experience. So I think what all sports are trying to do is trying to replicate that viewing experience in arena, and we've seen a lot of executives in arena really ramp it up and provide incredible viewing experience in the arena as well. But the television and viewing experience is terrific.
What could the Olympics do for the brand of NBC Sports, the relatively new channel?
Well, NBC, as you know, has broadcast the Olympics since 2002. And back, in the Winter Games even longer than that. And I think there's so much pageantry and there's so much patriotism to the Olympics, and the Roberts family is behind that so much. I think it's really going to be a springboard for them for other sports. Right now they have limited sports that they broadcast, and some Major League Soccer games, some hockey games, some NCAA hockey, and a few other things. I think down the road they're going to look to make a deal with Major League Baseball, and hopefully that will springboard, some more. The old NBC Sports Network was an incredible brand, and we've seen some dilution in that because of the changes in ownership. It's my view that I think they're going to use the Olympics as one of the springboards, not only for their sports programming, but for their overall programming lineup in general.
Rupert Murdoch's News Corp has come out and said, it wants to create a competitor to ESPN, basically a national sports cable channel. This almost sounds like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it almost sounds like you expect NBC to perhaps compete as the third candidate for a national sports channel. Do you think that? And if you do, what is that going to do to rights fees, not just for the Olympics, but for all sports programming?
Well, I think if you're executive, at one of the sports leagues, you're salivating over this. You're salivating over the competition between ESPN and News Corp and NBC and the various other outlets because they're starving for sports programming. If you look where ESPN has come, just in 1979 alone, and their dominant position in sports, and what they have. It's just an incredible lineup of sports properties, and you'll see more and more competition from NBC, from Fox to try to gain away those sports properties and really try to use them again on this broadband platform, because it's my view that they're going to be able to take the programming and move it to mobile and then gain some advertising from there. And we're just at the infancy of that advertising economy right now.
As someone who's been tracking the finance of professional sports as well as sports programming like the Olympics and the NFL, Major League Baseball and so forth, where do you put the Olympics in that hierarchy in terms of how valuable it is as programming?
I put it really right at the top. I simply feel that, again, you have professional athletes at the top of their game. You have the highest echelon of all professional sports coming together. You have more events. I mean, you look at the number of events that the Olympics now broadcast as it relates to all sports. I mean, you know, you thought it was 40 events, 50 events. There are over 300 events now. So you really have a cadre of the most incredible athletes competing at the highest levels of the sport. So I really put it up at really the highest level of all sports programming.
Maybe I'm just getting old, but I go back to, I kind of wish it was still amateurs. You know, I go back to, you know, the Winter Olympics when the United States won the gold medal, upsetting the Soviet Union along the way. You know, the fact that it's pros now, do you think economics, I'm strictly talking economics now in terms of the value of the programming and advertising revenue and so forth, do you think that's a positive versus having amateurs from the United States participate?
I think it's a very big positive. I mean, you look just at professional basketball and you look at the 12-member team that they put together for basketball. I mean, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant. I mean, you have some of the best athletes, and I think that there were a lot of people crying out, why don't we have the best athletes participate around the world instead of amateur athletes, the best athletes? So I believe it's going to be an incredible positive because you are seeing the best athletes compete at the highest level.
And lastly, Michael, what do you think some of the wild cards are that may impact TV ratings and economically how the Olympics may pan out for NBC?
I think some of the wild cards will be the stories. I mean, NBC is a big believer that they have to tell a story and they have to make it passionate. And there's going to be great, great stories attached to these Olympics. And if the NBC could portray them and there's some photo finishes in regard to this. I mean, you look at the Phelps-Lochte rivalry, you look at Lolo Jones and what she's doing, what she's overcoming, and those are great American stories. So if NBC can really put that together and really catch, you know, the viewer's eye in creating some drama around the stories, I think that's going to be a huge plus for them.